She's saying no. Oh, here we go. Guys, I think we're going live. This is so exciting. The RH Jam in Palm Springs. Oh, I sincerely hope we are live. Hey, everybody. Hey, everyone.
Can't wait to see you.
We're here in Palm Springs live at the RH Jam, and we're going to be talking about what grace may mean. How do we learn to recognize it? Is it available to everyone? And maybe how Reconnective Healing and self-healing can help us be there. Coming up on the RH Jam.
Jam! We got it.
The essence, it's that stillness in between movement, that stillness in between thought. And for me, it's achieving that state. It's so natural, and it's so it just arises from this beautiful experience. And so that's the grace moment for me, when I recognize that I am in that stillness, I am in that exchange, and everything is just is being done for me, through me, for both of us, me and my clients in that moment. And it shows up in our lives, even if we're not working with a client, so to speak. It shows up in our lives when we allow it to be in our consciousness and we recognize it in the world around us.
That is such a good point about us Reconnective Healing practitioners. We all are. We also have the amazing joy of answering a lot of your questions as you send them in. And remember that if you want to find out more about every single one of us, you gotta subscribe to our channel. No, sorry guys, I don't have the fancy little animations coming out on me the other direction, because this is a complicated new system we're doing here. It's new. It's new what we're trying here, okay?
We can be your animation, which
Right.
They are very animated. As you'll discover, if you were here, you would know this, because we've been running around all morning. As Rob was saying, this concept of in the interaction with the frequencies, and it doesn't have to be somebody receiving it as a client. It's just in that space that happens, right? When we are interacting with the frequencies or people who are in frequencies. Tell me a little bit about this. Weenie, meenie, miny, mo. Joan! Miss Joan Fowler.
So, the session itself is quite an experience, or just in your day of being. For me, I enter into that space through curiosity. It's almost like an invitation. It draws you in. And as you enter into that space of curiosity, there's a sense of wonder. I wonder what's going to happen next. I wonder what's going to occur. I wonder what I'm going to feel. And in the next moment, grace hits its sweet spot. And the sweet spot is awe. When it takes your breath away, and that, I feel that electrical pulsing throughout my whole being. And I know that we are connected. My client and I are connected. Nature, the wonder of the universe is connected in that moment of awe.
Awe is such a brilliant word to describe it, so appropriate. We have no access right now to check on what you guys are asking us, but please, 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 put in the chat, how does grace feel for you, to you? How do you describe grace? Joan said wonder, she said awe, oneness, unity with the universe. Write down, tell us what is it that it means to you, because for a lot of you, it may be that grace is only packaged as something that is acquired, is attained, is of divine origin. We earn it. Although some people are born with it, as we know in our biblical history, that's what is also another possibility. Is this something that belongs to everybody, this aspect or this grace? I love this.
And when you asked the question, I was actually thinking about the fact that for a long time when we talked about the reconnection, the personal reconnection, we referenced the time prior to the separation that we experienced as a race with the oneness of the universe. And then we talk about the reconnection as allowing us to achieve some steps toward that full state of reconnection back to the universe. So as I always say to my clients, I don't think we're quite to our original state of grace yet, but the process of the reconnection allows us to be in more constant flow, contact, connection to this all. And so I think that if we take that as our starting point, when we talk about what grace means, we really recognize that, as you said, that many people are born onto the planet, they've achieved many, probably perhaps steps throughout different lives to achieve more and more higher states of connection and fullness. But now the reconnective healing frequencies bring us to this space where each of us in the moment of the session, or in the moment of our self-healing, or just walking around, can again begin to touch and achieve those moments of this connection. And I think that's what real grace really is.
I'm so glad you brought up the personal reconnection. My own experience was very transformative in that respect. When I received mine, I came from a very Catholic background, and my concept of grace was purely based on what it's taught through divine intervention, divine reward as a state of grace. After my personal reconnection, I experienced that awe and wonder in a package that was so powerful that I can describe it just as oneness with everything. And that oneness with everything, it was knowing everything for a split second. This sense of nothingness was the everything, just filled me up. And it's once you feel that, it's not something you can quickly or ever leave behind, or not have it inform your day to day, because no matter how your days get, there is this moment that is always there. And by that, you know, this is not like, you imagination, you wish to know, you hope it will be this way. No, there is a knowingness that this is so. Cecilia, what about, and of course I had to go to Cecilia because we haven't heard Cecilia yet. What about, talking about the personal reconnection, there are other aspects in reconnective healing that allow you to have that moment between not only the interaction. What about if it's self-healing? How does self-healing in reconnective healing allows you to capture, I don't know if that's the right word, guys, but I'm going to go with capture. Since we're capturing video, we're capturing.
That's good, that works.
It's so amazing, and it sometimes sneaks up on you. And for me, I have experiences of beginning a self-healing, beginning being present with the frequencies, and while I'm believing that I have already released all my expectations, there's a moment of everything lets go. There's a moment of, wow, I didn't even know I was holding that. And I become fluid with the atmosphere, with everything. It's a stillness, and it's expansion, and it's an awareness of everything around me. It shows up in many ways, of course. Everybody's experience every time is going to be different. It's going to bring you different things. And in one of these experiences of mine, as you were saying, about knowing everything and I had a vision of, it was me, but I could see above, I could see below, I could see in front, I could see behind, I could see left, right, I could see in all directions without turning my head. I just could see and feel everything about me. And that's what it is. It's we are one with everything, and I felt everything in this experience. And so self-healing brings you to the opportunity for a knowing and awareness of something you may not have recognized was part of you.
I know that every single time I have a moment of self-healing, which is basically, guys, it's this simple. Is every single time you place your attention on the frequencies of reconnective healing. That's it. You don't need to direct them to do anything. You don't need to say, oh, I got a headache, go here, help me. Oh, hang on, other place. Go here, help me. No, the frequencies always know what to do. It's just your awareness of them that are causative to this experience. And I'm glad that we're talking about self-healing, because on Sunday, this Sunday, December 8th, during our live stream, Dr. Eric Pearl will be leading the entire world on a self-healing meditation. Now, this is a first. When we practice and teach the self-healing as part of the Reconnective Healing Catalyst program, the Live Immersion Weekend, which we're also having here, by the way. As I said, this is our stellar teaching team of both the Catalyst and Ignite. Okay, here. Ignite. I'm getting used to this, guys. It's, I lost my thread there.
Self-healing. We're all self-healing during this live stream.
Thank you,
You're welcome. No problem. No problem.
When we do it here at the program, when we do the self-healing, it's very different. This is a custom, thought through, channel through. I would like to say it was inspirational. I actually had the privilege of reading the breakdown because I will be helping with directing the live stream itself. So I had the privilege of reading a lot of the notes that Dr. Pearl are going to be sharing with the audience, not only here but with the live stream. And let me tell you, it's on another level what we're talking about for you at home to learn what self-healing is all about in Reconnective Healing. Would you like to share a moment in self-healing that was transformational?
In our own lives?
In your own life.
Sure. It's funny, you said a moment, just kind of what Cecilia touched on. I mean, it's not about a moment. It's this continuous flow, and it's those moments that you allow yourself to be aware. You allow yourself to bring your attention to your interaction and connection with the universe, with these frequencies. That self-healing becomes very apparent that it's taking place. And what's so interesting is that this interaction can be a surprise. It doesn't have to be, okay, now I'm going to get ready for a self-healing experience. Sometimes you'll just notice in a very quiet moment of the day the presence of these frequencies flowing through you, and you realize, oh, I'm experiencing my self-healing moment, and it's just brought to you when it's necessary as far as your awareness of it. And so yeah, it's not a moment, it's moments, and it's constant.
Thank you, by the way. This is Rob Connick, if you just joined us. Anna Clavel, The Average Jam, Rob Connick, Cecilia Samms, Joan Fowler, and Kelly Woodruff. Let's say again, maybe
Yes.
one moment. And I know every single
You
moment.
weren't satisfied with that.
I would like to share in a moment of self-healing. Sometimes you enter in with an intention, not even realizing it, but there might have been an experience of family, friends, acquaintances that you have brought in before you began the moment. And I remember distinctly entering into a self-healing moment, and I had come from a situation with family members that I was concerned about and wondering how I could assist, and in the moment of self-healing, the feeling of letting go showed up. And it's like, oh, I don't have to direct this. I don't have to make this better. It's going to show up in its betterness, in its healing on its own. I just have to let go and not be responsible for that situation. And that was a great clarity in the self-healing.
That is a great point to bring on. No, that your point. Rob's point was really good. And we want to see, guys, put it in the chat. Let Rob know that his self-healing experience was just as awesome. But that is also a great point that Cecilia brings, that healing will manifest in the way that is needed. And sometimes, and you guys, we have a whole collection of Irish jams here. Go and check out the one we talk about intentions, because, as Cecilia mentions, sometimes you don't know that they're there. And that's okay. It's okay. Oh, look, we're cleaning the house too. It's okay to have them, to be aware of them. It's just not letting them dictate or direct where the frequencies need to go. So please write down here in the chat, how are you resonating with these self-healing moments? They go beyond the physical. Clearly, Cecilia just spoke about a family situation. What about with Joan? Joan, share one with us.
Well, it's so interesting. The reason I love Reconnective Healing is because as we facilitate a session for someone else, we are also receiving healing. And this immense connectedness that we have with the universe, that the frequencies allow us to receive exactly what we need. And so every time we step into that equation, we are receiving. And sometimes we recognize what's transforming for us, even in a session with another person, and sometimes we don't realize it till later. And so it just, we're always receiving when we step into those moments of grace, because grace is allowing. And sometimes we feel like we're not in grace, because we're busy. And grace, to me, if I could communicate it in musical terms, it's like the silence between the notes. It's beautiful and expansive and allows everything to be perfectly ordered.
Grace is allowing. And it's like in music, like Rob told us, it's that beautiful moment. Thank you. It's a beautiful moment of movement, in a dance, that just captures the everything in a single go. Please add to our comments. How are you resonating with these insights onto what grace is? Kelly, share with us.
Sure. It's interesting that the conversation could come and land here, because honestly, one of the things when you said, what about a self-healing moment? I remember very, very, very specifically, quite a bit of time ago, not too long, as I was into my practice and becoming a practitioner, I was doing a self-healing moment. I was focused on physical, something that was going on for me, nothing too major, but something that was annoying, whatever. And in this beat, I suddenly realized that the opportunity for clarity and the opportunity to connect helped me to understand and completely redefine what healing meant. Not just for myself, but for my clients and for all of us. And in that moment, I really understood that healing so far transcends just the letting go of the changing of the physical, that it was really about this evolution, this honestly self-evolution of the body, mind, spirit, emotion, everything. And it was in that moment of self-healing that this epiphany came to me. And interestingly enough, the physical thing completely, I forgot about that. That completely went away. But when I got up, I just remember thinking, oh my God, that's so profound, because we have just, in that moment, I have just touched this truth about how healing is not what we used to think of it as. And now here we are 15 years later, and as we enter into our Catalyst programs with our students, we so emphasize with them that healing is such beyond just what we used to define as letting go of physical symptoms. And I really found that for myself in this moment of self-healing.
That touch the truth. Touch the truth. Remember that phrase. Because, as Kelly said, many of us may have been seekers. We have studied many modalities, techniques, and there's so many things to go through and learn and whatnot. Reconnective healing is an easy, instantaneous access to all this information and then some. But even us sometimes need that extra little nudge. Why? Why not? We're not here to define, again, how the frequencies work. We only know, and we need to know, that they always do, and the intelligence that guides them does what it needs, what we need, not, hang on, I don't want to call not what we tell them to do. So even when we feel that healing is a cure, which is not, and we have another great Irish gem about it, so I encourage you to go and watch it. We have to allow ourselves to let go. In that letting go and experiencing the possibilities like we have all shared with you, there is an instant so profoundly beautiful, such as the dance, such as a discovery of something that resolves a whole family dynamic situation, the reciprocal healing that happens in a session and touching truth, the discovery for yourself that what you knew was true, now it's in a very different, profound level in which it is like a permanent knowingness. There's no longer doubt about any of these things. So I encourage you to sign on for the live stream on Sunday, because we will have this amazing self-healing meditation that will allow for all these stages that we've spoken of to be, if you allow it, part of your not only Sunday, but hopefully forever, for the rest of your life, if this is something that truly then inspires you to discover more about reconnective healing. Guys, we are almost out of time here. Any last thoughts, messages? Hi, Mom, that you'd like to share?
I mean, I think we're all just really thrilled to once again be together in this sharing, and Anna, thank you so much for this forum, because it allows us not only to include those who have shown up at this site in this weekend, but everyone now has access to this continuing discussion. So I just want to pay gratitude, Mom and Dad, absolutely, but also gratitude to Anna Clavel for your elegant, graceful hostess ability.
That's right. I watched a lot of YouTube before I started doing this.
Come play with us. We're going to be having fun. Join us.
It's Grace in the Space, baby.
Grace in the space. Joni's not plugging anything.
No.
Just, come to this beautiful space in Palm Springs and enjoy us, and enjoy us, and enjoy us enjoying you. I mean, it's just such an amazing environment, and these events have been so transformative for so many people, from our new students coming into the Catalyst, as well as our returning students to our Ignite program. It's just super profound, and we're in high gratitude.
We are in high gratitude. And for you guys who do not know this amazing team, let me just remind you, you're also going to be missing out on yoga every day. And Kelly here is our Uber yoga instructor, co-inventor of Reconnective Healing Yoga. That's pretty awesome. And Cecilia here will be presenting with Joan everything that is to be known about reconnective kids and reconnective animals. And yes, we will have animals. No tarantulas, I hear.
No.
I asked for tarantulas, but they said
They
no.
tried.
They
It's
tried.
too cold.
What is it?
It's too cold here in Palm
It's too
Springs
cold.
for them.
But we call for tarantulas.
We have some snakes.
Oh, good.
I also want to thank the entire Reconnection team and also our amazing Catalyst Ignite team, leader by Cindy Ormiston, the amazing Cindy, who's also helping us here today. Yay, Cindy!
Come on, fly by.
You're amazing!
There's your animation.
There you go.
Cindy just popped in.
We are going to be streaming throughout the weekend, so if I were you, I would right now sign up, follow us right here on YouTube, or if you have our Facebook or Instagram. We're going to be everywhere this weekend, and we can't wait to continue this conversation. Allow, touch that truth, Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
More RH jamming.
Bye.
Okay.